So we have to combine both and understand how it works, because we're tired of getting this. On the phone saying, no, Thursday's out, how about never? Is never good for you? We want to get past that. We want to attract people into our world. Because as you look at the complaints that we're getting, transparent ploys, canned phrases, that's what they're saying about you. Well, it's transparent. I can see what they're doing, the way they approach you. The car's running in the driveway. Oh, I got to leave. I can't talk to you. A lot of these things you've seen over and over and over again, they don't like. And they start to resist. In fact, how do your prospects feel? Like this? That's what they're saying. They're saying that you're getting too friendly too fast. They're saying that you're talking too much. And hopefully this doesn't happen. So does closing work? Again, time and place. And you have to be very careful with some of the skills that they teach you. We were getting an estimate on the interior of our home to get it painted. And my wife's pretty interesting. She knows the laws of persuasion. And many times she'll sit down with people and say, look, let me tell you why I'm not buying from you. Now, wouldn't that be gold to you? Wouldn't you want to know? Well, this one person was so aggressive, she didn't even sit down with him, and he left. And he left his notebook. And I got home. She says, is this your notebook? And I looked at it. It was all these closing skills. I'm like, this is gold. So I hurried up and photocopied it. And he came back to get his thing, because I want to show you what they were doing. He just came from closing school. And this is one of the ones he should have had. I photocopied it for you. Do it. Be aggressive. You're being nice to them. You get to do business with them. Exactly. He spelled it wrong. Now, is that going to work, being more aggressive? No. Or this one, this is one of the reasons I had to photocopy it, is the puke close. Notice it's not the best. Oh, you're going to use my competitor? I'm going to get sick. I'll puke in your yard. Oh, okay. Paint my house. Are you kidding me? This was just last year. They were just, that's why I had to photocopy it. I'm like, wow. The moment they sense you're trying to persuade them, they're going to resist you. And that's not what you want. You want to grab them to you. And one of the ways is understanding dissonance. Have you ever studied dissonance before? That internal pressure? The key with dissonance is we have these beliefs, these attitudes, and these commitments. What dissonance is when we have a belief and we do something against that belief, we feel an awkward feeling inside us, this tension, and we can't deal with it. So if you believe stealing is wrong, and your son or daughter comes up to you and says, well, Dad, isn't that stapler from work? There's this rubber band inside. What happens inside? It stretches, and people can't live with that. And so we say things like, well, I'm just borrowing it for 20 years. Well, they had too many, or they don't pay me enough. Isn't that interesting, the reasons we do what we do? And so if you can create internal pressure, if you can help them persuade themselves, if you can see this, you'll see amazing things, your ability to persuade. So if someone says, hey, can you help me diet? Please help me out. And you come home, somebody says, ever happened to you, and they've just polished 12 Krispy Kreme donuts. And you say, hey, what are you doing? You better duck. Because they'll say, what are you, my mother? They'll attack you. Ever been attacked for no reason? That is dissonance. And you have to see it coming. You have to be able to pre-solve any objection that you might have. Because one of my beliefs is, well, you should probably exercise every day. I'm pretty good, unless I'm on the road. And you shouldn't eat after 7 o'clock. That's a belief, and that's probably many of your beliefs. Now, when we go on vacation, what happens to that belief? So what do we say to get rid of that tension? So all of a sudden, we're going on a cruise, 7 meals a day. You're tired, but you have to stay awake for that midnight dessert buffet because you paid for it, so you're spacing out in the hallways. And if you don't eat it, they're going to throw it away. And you're on vacation, so it doesn't count. I've even lost 5 pounds before a cruise, so I would break even. Like, hello? What's going on? So I take my wife on this cruise to Bermuda, beautiful island. Ever been to Bermuda? Incredible island, beautiful. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we come back. And I said, well, I'm going to get something to eat. And she looks at me and says, are you hungry? I said, well, no, but that's what we're supposed to do. We're on a cruise, we eat. She said, oh, why don't you go jogging? You love to jog. I'm like, that's probably a good idea. So I decided to go 3 miles. And I went to the top of the ship, and the beautiful day, blue water, and I did the calculations. It's what, 712 laps for 3 miles? Is that about right, those tiny little tracks? And I said, I'm going to do 3 miles. And my wife doesn't know this, so please don't tell her. This is very interesting, because at the time it made perfect sense. So I started running.